Afternoon, welcome to the Line Travellers. How you going, bro?
I'm pretty good, mate. It's been a long hiatus, but
It has
did the
since
Discord and what is it, episode
episode
9
9 in here in the Onion Room. We have had
In the
a brief hiatus, yes.
Yeah, but we're back. We're getting the juices flowing, as you said before.
You've got it. Muscle
had
memory.
A few cans just to ease the nerves.
You've got it, man. Bit of Dutch courage.
Yeah, but I've been all right. Got a new position in Woolworths. So
Fantastic. Get promoted to junior manager.
Yeah, junior. You know, everyone's got to learn something. You know,
Man,
we all can't be like you.
You got to go up the ranks, man. You can't just go into CEO. You know what I mean?
Always say yes to overtime. Don't worry about your family.
No,
and
work comes first. Work comes first. Absolutely. And then when you're a divorcee, 50 years old, living above a pub, picking up bumpers out of the ashtray, man, you'll look back on it and go, it was all worth it. Worth it.
Yes. Thank God for that. It's plausible to one of us it's going to happen to. And hopefully it does.
Statistically, one of us, it probably will happen to.
Between us, yes. Agree. And the great thing you just said, a bumper. Do tell the travellers and audience out there, if they're not aware of one.
I dare say the most of the Australian audience does know what a bumper is. Because we've all been there. We've all been at that train station at 4 o'clock in the morning. You just want one last cigarette, and then you look, and there's this dirty little thing on the ground. You go, that's got 4 puffs in it. I'm ripping in. I did have one evening, I was waiting for a bus, and a lady got into a taxi in haste. She had half a smoke left, flicked it out. Half is good bumper.
Yeah, and I just went straight to it. Anyway.
You've got it. Anyway, man, so we've had a few complaints on the YouTube and the Facebook. A couple of people DMing us being like, is this even a paranormal podcast? Because all you guys really do is go on like COVID rant, talk about how Biden is a clone and how the government's fucked. All that's true. But we are getting back to our roots when we used to talk about the skunk ape and UFOs
Titanic,
and stuff.
made out of titanium.
So we're getting back to our roots today. So we've got a few things today that I reckon a lot of people don't know about. A lot of people. And we're going to be discussing them in intimate detail. And hopefully we get some calls. We've got the phone on. The lines are open. And if you do want to leave a voicemail, now I've got it.
Shout the number.
Yeah, hold on.
You should know it off by heart, Peacock.
I don't.
We also, we've invested in a new phone, so look at that.
Yes. Where'd we find that?
As it Coles. Thank you, Coles, for sponsoring this.
Don't say that.
It's a joke. It's a parody comedy like Phil said, you know?
If you do want to leave us a voicemail, because now we do have an active voicemail. We were so unprepared. 0403 245 692. Boom. And call anytime. Leave a voicemail.
Yes. The lines are open always, as we say. I've also promised myself not to swear as much.
Yes, we are trying to tone down the F's and the C's, but
it might slip out.
Being blue collar workers, it's pretty hard. Hard.
We're not sophisticated yet.
But anyway, let's get this ball rolling. What do you got for us today?
I've got a few topics. I want to start on. I touched briefly on it on our Discord episode 8. It's the Rat King.
The Rat King, yes, you did.
And you had a look at it? Yeah.
I did have a brief look because I didn't want to spoil any surprises. But man, it's weird as hey. It's super weird.
Well, I'll go in what a Rat King is again. It's a collection of rats, and the tails are intertwined, usually by some sort of hair. It's been known as horsehair or some kind of sap as well.
Well, yeah. When I was looking into it, it is the demonic symbol of it.
Oh, that's right.
Is 8 rats, so they face outwards. All the heads face outwards, and all the tails intertwine into this almost Celtic-looking symbol. But that's when I saw it. But there have been instances where people have found these recently. I do believe the first one was in 1585.
You're correct. Actually, in my research, 1564. Actually, close enough. The man is a couple decades out. But the first known sighting, obviously, 1564. There's another phenomenon. I can't say that word.
Phenomenon.
I can't speak. Probably.
Yeah.
Of a squirrel king as well. Is a similar thing has happened to squirrels.
Yeah, all right.
I don't know why, but it just popped up. I think when I was researching it not long ago, they never talked about the squirrel king.
No, it was just predominantly the Rat King. But man,
why is this happening?
Where haven't they been finding them recently?
Yes, it was in what's that place? It's in Germany in a museum where they recently had a live one, and they decided to put it out its misery because they couldn't eat. But
Jesus, yeah, because all the rats are sort of going like.
there's
just
video
like, oh,
footage which will alert you to in the editing.
Mm.
Also, yeah, so it's a German term. It came from, well, it translates to Rat King, which is Ratterkong or something. In German. I can't speak.
And did you bring up the origin of this? Like, where have they come from? Why does it exist?
It's very hard to find why it exists. There's thoughts of like it was like plagues of rats somehow intertwining in these similar positions everywhere. But what's interesting is that it's happened in the 30s in New Zealand.
The 30s?
Recently up to this current year, or last year, I believe.
What, they found a rat king in 2022?
Yeah, that's the live one of it.
Oh, the German one. Yeah, dope.
So they've also been fought as. I have this interesting thing.
Yeah, tell me.
So,
Bring
one
it up,
second.
Jamie.
So popular mythology in Germany was told of a rat leader,
Yep.
and he demanded that he be sat atop a throne of lower peasant rats.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they think the mythology comes from of why these you might find everywhere, that there is an actual rat king out there demanding this.
Good heavens.
Which is like just a huge rat, right?
Well,
it's not like a human.
Ben, have you seen, though, like you look at New York sewer rats and stuff, they are the size of a fucking cat.
They're
They're
eat you,
huge. Man, even if you go in our hometown of Newcastle, if you go over to sort of under Carrington Bridge, you can see water rats swimming around. They're huge. They've got cocks on them like this, man. I'm telling you. It's fucking full on.
They'd fight cats when they like.
Yes, they would. They would. They're ravenous predators.
100%.
Ravenous predators. Man,
But, yeah, it's interesting.
speaking of small interesting things, I've
Sorry, I don't mean.
yeah, that was my Tinder bio. Big things come in small packages. Man, have you ever heard of El Pombero?
El Pombero.
El Pombero. So
Tell me.
this was a mythical creature that appeared in Brazil. And it's been in folklore there for ages. It's El Pombero recently loosely translate to the Nightman. So the Nightman is this tiny little dwarf that apparently walks around and he captures women of loose morals and forcefully has his way with them.
You find plenty in Brazil.
Yeah, so I remember back in 2005, Sky News actually did up like the footage of this, and everyone sort of forgot about it, and it actually took me a while to find it. I'm just going to show you it here now.
It's buried.
Yeah, well, it was buried. So I'm just going to fucking show you it here. Look at it coming out of the mist.
What the fuck?
Yeah, look how tiny it is and how it moves. Yes, so
Why does it move like that?
We'll put this up, and everyone in that video will have the audio, and they're all like, "Ah!"
That is disgraceful.
Yes, and that's in Brazil. And
Can you please, I don't want to look at that.
as I said, it was a creature of folklore. But after that, and as I said, Sky News put this up. It took me ages to find this footage.
That is uneasy, man. It looks like your classical mythological gnome kind of creature.
Yes, so apparently...
Fuck the Smurfs also. I don't
It is a... But what's weird about it, it stereotypically... Like, it looks like a stereotypical garden gnome. But... Apparently, according to folklore, when it walks, it sounds like bricks dropping. Like,
what the...
And that's how you know, man, when women of loose morals. That's how they know when El Pombero
is in bed.
Yeah, or the Nightman is fucking. It's coming for you, bro. So delete your. If you're in Brazil, delete your Bumble, delete your Hinge, delete your Tinder, get off OnlyFans because El Pombero, the Nightman. Mate, he could be coming for you.
And it is terrifying, that footage.
It is.
You're going to see this, and if I see that, man, I don't know. I'd probably attack it, but I would not hang around with loose women then after that.
No, man. Like, man, you're on a Tinder date in Brazil, man. This chick is thick as, man, just beautiful, just like chatting in that nice Brazilian accent. You're walking down a dark alley, you think you're going to get a blowjay, and then all you hear is... And then it just comes out of the mist. I'll be like, take her first.
Yeah, it's 100%. You always push her into it. That's what he wants. He doesn't.
He doesn't want you, man. He doesn't want you, man. And then you just leg it out of there like, man, the last chopper out of Saigon. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I would be gone, bro. I don't do well with cryptids. I don't do well with cryptids.
Was it El Pombero?
El Pombero.
El Pombero.
El Pombero.
He's teaching us men a lesson as well.
Yes.
Of course. And if I see the gnome come out of darkness, I thought, you know what I'm doing? I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, well, man.
And have that woman. So there's a lesson to always be learnt with these mythological. We've just seen footage of one.
Mythological creatures, yes.
Yeah. So,
But man, there's a lot of shit about like mythological creatures, and then sort of like eerie footage of them actually comes out. But this day and age, it could be fake. But as I said, this was filmed in, man, it looks like the camera is a fucking potato, and this was filmed in 2005. Like this is we haven't had like camera phones for that long now. And everyone's like, ah,
because exactly like I remember someone talking about that years ago. Excuse me, about it. I didn't see the footage, and I was like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like, because I thought it was another thing. Is it the El
Chupacabra. Oh, I hate to say the El Chupacabra because L is
There's
the.
more?
L is the. So El Chupacabra, aka the goat sucker. I think it's a. They found like in the South America, they've found a bunch of goats with 2 little bites with their blood completely drained, and apparently, I'll get a photo of it up here. It just looks like a little like gangly sort of creature. One apparently was shot, but then later on the authorities that would be deemed it to be a coyote that had mange. But coyotes that have mange don't necessarily like. I don't think canine teeth can just go boom.
No, not like
and then
piercing
just
kind of.
They reckon it's like a interdimensional creature. That's why it can't be caught.
There's been a few interdimensional creatures. Another one I'm sure you're aware of is the Mothman. I wasn't too. I heard about him.
I love the Mothman.
You probably know more about him, so I'll just have a brief introduction.
Yep.
I think it's probably discovered before, but when it came popular, I think it was in West Virginia.
Point Pleasant,
exactly right. So I'm on the right path by a couple, I think, seen it.
Yep.
Reported on it in the headline. It read, let me get this up for you. So the local rag has said, couple sees man-sized bird, ... creature, ... something. What a headline.
Man, that's a lazy journalist. Hey, they're like ... something.
He surely went far in his journalism career, and I'm just like, what the hell? And I was just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And then obviously, numerous days later, multiple sightings.
Yep.
A fireman said it looked like a large bird with red eyes.
Yep. So red glowing eyes. Apparently, the Mothman has.
So I delved deep because I wasn't well versed in the Mothman, like my co-host or partner or friend, lover, ex-lover, and also I don't know how true this is. It could be true. In 1967, a bridge collapsed, killing 40-something people.
Yep,
and Mothman was seen in the distance.
Exactly. So,
what is going on?
So I'm pretty well versed in Mothman, and I'm not talking about the Mothman prophecies where Richard Gere. Is it Richard Gere in that?
Yes, a great film.
Man, do you reckon this? Quick question: do you reckon Richard Gere ever does like a fat line and he's like, "Gear is on the gear"?
Yes.
You reckon?
And then he signs up for Mothman prophecies. He's like, this sounds good.
So apparently. Due to indigenous folklore, the Mothman is sort of an omen of something bad that's about to happen. The Mothman doesn't necessarily bring the bad thing, but if you see the Mothman, especially in Point Pleasant down in Virginia, that means like some shit's gonna fucking go down.
So flee.
Yep. So the Mothman was seen, and that bridge went down.
Yeah.
The Mothman was also seen in the same town in Point Pleasant, I believe, when it was a timber mill or it was a copper mill or something like that, burnt down and killed like a fucking bunch of people. Fun fact: in Point Pleasant, I'll get it up here. They have a huge statue of the Mothman, and it is
bullshit.
They do. It's fucking creepy,
That's
man.
sick.
Hey? Man, it's like steel and it's got like big red eyes, man. I don't know. It looks like a fucking Pokemon or something. It's fucking creepy as.
So they worship it, obviously, as a god?
I don't know if they worship it as a god, but it's it's almost like a bit closer to home. As we both know, there's a little town called Woodenbong up near the Queensland border, sort of northwest New South Wales. The amount of Bigfoot sightings they've had up there, the Yeti, the skunk ape, Sasquatch, whatever, the murder ape, whatever you want to call it, is now their town logo, hey? Yeah. So that's pretty fucking dope.
On the Mothman, there's also talk maybe he's the angel of death.
Man, look.
But if he's only been seen in certain parts, could he be like an angel of death?
I don't know, man. If you sort of believe in the Mothman and like cryptids and stuff like that, it's only sort of been seen in Point Pleasant. Like,
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't be surprised, as I said, if you go back in Native American folklore, like, man, Native Americans said to the white man, "Don't go there. Bad shit's gonna happen." And what does the white man do?
Go there.
Yeah, fucking hope he goes there.
Who would listen to,
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
who's-
yeah.
They thought it was
these
Gere.
idiot people that have only been there thousands of years that know everything that's going on. But yeah, and so it only appears in sort of Point Pleasant in Virginia. But yeah, like the Native Americans say that it always has been a bad omen. Like, and they never went there. They never went there.
Is that where Jaws was filmed as well? Point Pleasant. There's something else about Point Pleasant. It's giving me something in my head that I'm thinking about.
No.
Maybe I'm just off the fucking.
Fuck, that's gonna piss me off now.
Also, I am terrified of moths. A
You are.
Mothman. I don't know. Half man, half moth could terrify me.
It's pretty big too. It was estimated to be about 6 foot too high. Yeah,
I was
giant wingspan.
I've been attacked by bogon moths, small moths as well, which terrify me. There's something about them and the dust that comes off, but I've never seen something with glowing red eyes. And we'll look at Point Pleasant right now. There's something to do with it. It's coming to my head, and I'm going to cut to the toilet. We're back, baby.
Speaking of the Mothman and stuff
Yeah.
like that, this is it's kind of off topic, but the Mothman prophecy is Richard Gere, right?
Yes, as we were discussing.
Did you know in the early 90s that Richard Gere went to hospital and had a gerbil stuck up his ass? That happened. That happened right here.
Is this why they based that famous South Park episode off?
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yes.
How did he get that up there?
Well, he didn't. He didn't fall on it, did he? You know what I mean?
Man, he must have been pretty high.
I dare say he was, man, off that sweet 90s cocaine.
I'd hang with him, mate. But about the gerbil thing, that's kind of off-putting.
What the fuck happened to Richard Gere?
He's dead.
Is he?
Yeah.
No, he's not. Are you thinking of Patrick Swayze?
Sorry, I am.
Yeah.
No, Patrick Swayze's dead?
Yeah, Patrick Swayze's dead.
It's his Star Trek. How's he... That bald-headed man.
Patrick Swayze from Roadhouse, Ghost, Point Break.
Oh, that guy.
Who the fuck are you thinking of? Are you thinking of Leonard Nimoy?
No, the bald-headed man out of Star Trek.
No, that's fucking...
Patrick something. Anyway.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, he's still
Yes.
alive.
Yeah,
Fuck,
Patrick Swayze, Point Break, great film.
I don't have that much movie taste as you do. Well, I don't remember anything.
Yes.
I
know
need
this.
that. That's you actually didn't offer me before in the Discord. We're talking about your newfound glory in water.
Yes.
Which is the fluoride filter. I haven't tasted it yet. You didn't even offer me one when I came here.
That is very true. Did you check out the fluoride filter, man?
I looked at me. I was going to steal it. Honestly.
Man, it's worth every penny. Hey,
I was going to spit in it as well.
All right, well, I suppose we'll cut again, and I'll piss, and I'll get you some.
Are you going to piss again?
I'll get you some fluorinated water and
please.
some unfluorinated water. Apologies for that. I had to get Lixie Boy a sample of tap water, which is fluorinated, and some water which is put through my super expensive defluoride device.
Twice, yes. Patented.
All right. So
Here we go.
Look at the consistency. Which one do you think is which? And
I'm
then
going to let the audience pick. For me, I've got to cleanse my palate. So this looks disgraceful. So I'm going to say there's a tap water. All right.
have a drink.
Let me wash the palate down.
All right. Now taste the other one. Taste the other one.
Man, there's soap around that ring. Anyway. All right. Now I'm going to taste this one, which is pretty clear. That has to be non-fluoride.
That's the non-fluoride.
Let me go again. I'm going in again.
Here at the line
God, I'm
travelers.
hydrated.
Here at the line travelers, where we sample water.
How exciting. Get your own filter in this link below.
So, man, what do you reckon? They do taste differently, hey?
Well, 100%. Like,
Yeah, and they look different too.
This one, I don't know if you rub something around the rim of it, but
Nope.
it looks different. It tastes. I don't know. It's hard to describe the taste, but you can feel it, man. Like it does. This kind of feels like. I've always wondered what still water was, but it feels like it's a thick substance.
It does, man. It does.
Like it
It's
feels
good,
like you're getting hydrated.
It's good.
This
It's
is
good.
disgraceful.
Yeah,
And
I know.
now I just need to wash the palate again. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks for showing me that and bringing light to the situation. We've discussed in detail as well.
Man, it's like my new cause in life, hey, to really alert people the dangers of fluoride in water,
And
which is many. But I won't go down that rabbit hole again, man.
But where can you get your own if you want one?
Bunnings Warehouse.
Link there. Anyway, thanks for bringing that to light. I might get myself one. Maybe. We'll see.
Not a problem. So, man, again, everyone's always complaining that we don't talk about paranormal stuff, right? Paranormal stuff that, some people might not know. So I dug down the memory hole. And, man, you know how, like, you're sort of sitting there thinking and then something goes, boom. You're like, oh, fuck, I know heaps about that.
It's happened.
Have you ever heard about the Devil's Pass, or in native tongue, the Dyatlov Pass in Russia?
I don't think I have. Maybe it's buried deep.
So it's called the Devil's Pass. 9 experienced hikers and wilderness campers went out into, it's like super far northwest of Moscow. So you're pretty much in the tundra. Pretty much in the tundra. 9 experienced like campers, woodsmen, like, man, they know their shit. Like, they've been camping in snow before. They went camping out there in the fucking tundra. It gets to sort of minus 30 at night, right? Which is pretty fucking cold.
Yeah, that's cold.
In the middle of the night, all 9 of them decided to cut like their tents open from the inside and just sprint out into the cold darkness like something had fucking startled them, hey? Like something had got them that scared that they decided to like take on the tundra instead of staying there.
What?
Yes.
Just cut them in the middle of the night, you're saying?
Yep. In the middle of the night.
These experienced woodsmen decided to just go.
This is barefoot, just in their like thermals. Like they were asleep, sliced the tent open, they all sprinted out into the wilderness going like all different directions, right?
Yeah, right.
Their bodies were found about 30 days later after sort of the snow subsided. And some of the injuries were absolutely catastrophic. There was massive skull injuries. People's insides, like their organs, were absolutely crushed. 2 of the victims were found without eyes. Yeah. 1, the woman, was found without eyes and a tongue. So the Russian government put this down to an avalanche. An avalanche where... but you're not going to lose your eyes and your tongue.
And your tongue's been ripped out.
Yeah, and
inside's crushed.
And all your so there's no physical damage on the outside. It's just your internal organs had just been compacted inside your body.
So there's no obviously there'd be damage you'd see.
Yep, there was no bruising on the outside. All on the inside, it was just absolutely mush. But yeah, eyes and tongue missing and stuff like that. So the Russian government, and if you go on to our good friends at Google, don't go to Google, go to DuckDuckGo. Yes. Google says it's an avalanche. You go on to DuckDuckGo, and there's a few things that like DuckDuckGo reckons. So Siberian hunters that are out there that enjoy hallucinogenic mushrooms, they think it might have been a hunter attack.
It's possible.
They think it would have been a botched alien abduction, example with the precision cutting out of the eyes and the tongue. A Yeti attack because someone got an injury that bad to their skull, they equated it to being in a car crash. And I think this is the most plausible one, as everyone's insides were absolutely crushed. People think that the Russians were doing some sort of seismic device weapons testing because it was out in the middle of nowhere. They didn't know they were camping there. And it just went woof. And obviously you'd hear the rattling stuff. They ran out, and once the seismic wave hit, it crushed everything inside them.
I think you could be right in that one. That is plausible.
But then you don't know about why were their eyes missing and their tongue. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking full on. And why did one dude's skull be that crushed in that it like sounded like doctor said it looked like he was in a car accident?
So the government, they've said it's
avalanche. Avalanche, yes. Because
after horrendous injuries.
Yes, avalanches quite often rip out your eyes and your tongue with surgical precision.
Like as you said, the various things that could happen. Aliens, yes, of course. We've been noted. There's been cows that have been disassembled without any surgical marks. But with the other kind of injuries, it's.
Weren't you telling me that actually? Because I was only versed in that it only happened in the Americas. Weren't you saying that it happened in northern Queensland not too long ago?
Yeah, northern Queensland. I haven't got the information here, but there was a farming couple that it's happened before, right? So they've gone to search for their cows. They couldn't find some of them. They found their corpses, and they were like in similar ways and fashion. Where somehow surgically they've removed their organs without like
tearing the skin.
Yeah, like noticeable kind of things and marks.
Yeah.
And they, there was hardly any blood. Like, so the bodies have come back with all these things missing. and there was no blood or any like roughaging of some kind of doing it in that spot.
Yeah.
And it's been happening before, and they're crying, like they're not crying, sorry, they're going, what the fuck's going on, and no one just like.
Man, I remember when cattle mutilation was really big in sort of North America for a while. A lot of cattle, when like the corpses looked like they had been dropped from like the stratosphere.
Yeah.
And then they were just mush on the ground, and they couldn't explain it. Some of them were that surgically, like precisely surgically cut down the middle, and that was almost cauterized to think it was a laser. There was also, now speaking of memory holing, this is like coming back to me. There was also a Brazilian man. I don't know if we can put up the photo of the corpse, but a Brazilian man that I saw quite some time ago. Surgically, they'd found him without any abrasions to the skin. His heart, his liver, his kidneys, his tongue, and his eyes were missing.
So similar things.
Do you reckon we put the photo of the corpse up?
Of course we can.
Yeah, I'll put the photo of the corpse up.
It's only a corpse.
And you see the face, and it's just, man, he looks like he died in pure fucking terror. Hey, it is hectic. It is hectic.
Oh, what a way to go! And it's happening in Brazil, Russia. Was there an avalanche in Brazil? I don't know. You tell me.
Yes,
is it plausible?
The snowy cap mountains of Brazil, man.
They're like, oh yeah, those things, they don't exist.
Yeah,
as somehow crushed this man to death. And Northern Queensland happening cows. It could happen to you or your family. So be prepared for what's coming.
Man, doesn't Les Stroud says that, Survivor Man?
Yeah.
He's like, it could happen to you or your family. You're like, I don't think I'll be marooned on a desert island, but hey, you never know.
I love that man. He's pretty creative.
Les Stroud is dope.
And uses.
He's got a band.
Does he?
It's called the
death metal.
It's called the Les Stroud Band. It's like an acoustic sort of rock sort of thing.
I can imagine it'd be quite soothing.
It is. I don't mind Les Stroud. Hey?
No, it's pretty cool. I do like that kind of survival stuff. Yeah. So anyway, with that,
and we're still waiting on some calls, bro. We're
gonna have some calls.
So as we're a man of the people, there was a lovely lady called Stephanie that DM'd us on Facebook, and she was just interested in haunting experiences. Man, I could talk about any number of famous haunting experiences, or I could talk about my own.
Do tell.
Boo-wee!
Ooh, I'm scared. We're gonna get that fixed.
That was the wrong button. I wanted the applause button.
So we're professional.
So back to my own personal haunting experience. Remember how I was living in that townhouse on the main road, not too far from here?
Yes, I do.
For about 7 years.
Yes.
So sometimes in the daytime, you would hear proper footsteps upstairs, and this is like sort of an earlier Victorian era townhouse. You'd hear the footsteps upstairs, and sometimes even running. Like, yeah. And as you know, I hope not not the El Pombero.
Sorry.
El Pombero. So when I first moved in, and then I was sort of living there by myself for about 3 years. When I started living there by myself, some super weird shit started to happen. Hey, I'd be in the downstairs room, and out of nowhere, it'd be the middle of summer, the room got icy cold.
Yeah, right.
Icy cold, out of nowhere. And you'd be like, oh, that's a bit weird. It's 27 degrees outside. Why is it -6 in here? Kind of ignored it. And then at night time, eventually, the taps started to turn on in the kitchen.
Yeah, the fuck?
Yeah, and I'd be like, well, I've got some cats. Maybe it's just cats.
They could use their hands.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You try and sort of
it's definitely not what you're thinking.
Yeah. Do you try and make it, especially when you're living alone, you try and make it logic in your head, and you're like, maybe the cats turned the tap on. And then it's sort of, got to the point, I can remember this one time where I was walking up the stairs up at the top level of the townhouse, and I felt on the back of my arm, and all the hairs on the back of my neck stood up.
Really?
Yes. And I was like, ugh. And it's sort of like, that was the worst it sort of got, but I was super creeped out. I didn't sleep that night. But then eventually it sort of got to the point, because I was living there alone for so long, where I didn't care. And when I didn't care, when I didn't care, whatever entity, which I wasn't a believer at that point in time, but after living there for 7 years, I was. But when I didn't care, it seemed that entity would like to up the ante. You know what I mean?
Your strategy was like, man, all right, I'm not going to care. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Or you're just like, whatever.
Yeah. I was like, I haven't been hurt. I don't think it's sort of malicious. But yeah, I just sort of didn't care for a while. It disappeared for a while, but then it come back with an absolute fucking vengeance. Hey, I would be downstairs my bedroom window would be closed and my door would just fucking slam shut, like to the point where it would like shake the house.
Would it slam shut and open again, or just shut?
Just slam shut? And I'd be like, oh, maybe I left the window open. Open it. Nope.
Ugh.
Nope. So one of my mates, you know him, he is a diesel mechanic, and he decided to bring him around a thermal imaging camera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they use thermal imaging cameras when you're a diesel mechanic to see like seized pistons and shit like that. We were just pointing it around the house, right? And there were black spots, like cold black spots in places where there shouldn't be. For example, this is like probably the best one, the kettle. The kettle. So a kettle, like just idling when it hasn't been boiled, it'll just look normal. It was black as fuck. And just like holes in the walls and stuff like that, black as fuck everywhere. Everywhere. When you went up to the spare room, which had Thomas's room written on it, remember that's where you used to sleep in?
Oh, I hated that place, honestly.
Man, you would point it in there, it was dark as
What?
like
You let me sleep in there?
Yeah, I wasn't sleeping in there.
Fucking...
Man, it was just like dark as. But anyway, eventually moved out of that house, right?
Yeah.
Moved into my newer house before I moved here. We bought that same kettle with us.
Oh.
Man, and like that kettle would turn on and off like all the time in the old house. Bought the same kettle into the new house.
Yep.
It turned on and off. And we're like, obviously that's a faulty fucking kettle. Got a new kettle. It still goes
What?
and occasionally
It's
boils the
exact same
water.
kind of kettle?
Yep.
Different.
That different kettle, bought a new one. Now I've moved into this house.
Please
We have bought a third kettle, and no word of a lie, you can hear it go, and the water starts fucking boiling. Hey,
Out of anytime, day, night.
anytime. Sometimes, like
Day,
if
night.
I'm going on a night shift, I'll just be having lunch downstairs at about 2 o'clock, and you just hear it go, and the kettle will start boiling.
Just throw the kettle.
But we've had 3 kettles.
Oh, true.
We've had 3 kettles. So I don't know if it's followed me. I don't know if I.
It's encombed itself. I mean, what I don't know the word was. Is it got itself into the kettle each time?
I don't know.
Transported here,
I
then
just
it just
don't know.
seeps back out.
I honestly think it's some sort of entity that has followed me from there. I don't think it's malicious or anything. But and as I said, I've had 3 kettles since then, and they'll go and just boil the water occasionally. We perpetually have to keep that kettle full because you don't want the kettle to boil with no water in. It'll probably set the house on fire.
So it's a reasonable kettle. It's not cheap, is it? Like
No. I think it was like a $40 kettle. That's pretty like
for
expensive for a
boiling
kettle.
water. That's pretty expensive.
But man, yeah, so that's my personal haunting experience. I personally believe whatever entity was in that house, it has followed me, and for some reason it decides to speak to me through a fucking kettle.
That's
man,
normal.
tell you the truth, I might set up the GoPro. I don't know.
And have on the kettle.
I would only have to do it for I reckon about 6 hours, and the kettle will go. I shit you not. Actually, I will do that. I will do that.
And do you have any footage of the thermal camera we can get? Or
No, because I don't think it can actually record on that. You just sort
you
of
just
look
see
through
through
it.
like a viewer.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it was absolutely wild, and that's my haunting experience because I didn't believe in ghosts and shit like that.
So
And-
up to this point, you're a young man at 7?
yeah,
26?
probably about 25. Yeah,
So you've fuck.
yeah, man. As you know, you slept there a few times. It was, and man, it was always dark in that house too, man.
It was
Always,
cold. It was cold sometimes.
always. Yeah.
And yeah, thanks for letting me sleep in the room that was most haunted and not telling me. So I appreciate that.
Because man, when I moved in, I saw Thomas's room, but it was in that those stickers when you were kids where you put their see through, but you put them on their glow in the dark. But because it'd been there for so long on a white door, I could never see them. But then one day the sun was just coming at the right angle, the door was
That
at the
would've
right
been
angle, and it illuminated. It said Thomas's room, and I was like,
That would have been absolutely.
yeah.
Scary.
And I was like, well, fucking Lixie boy can sleep in there when he comes over.
Yeah. Here you go, champion. Have fun.
With the red bucket.
I thought it was just the sleeping on the floor that was so bad in there, but it must have been something else.
Absolutely. Well,
With the red bucket, of course.
the
Yes.
cat,
I used to spew a lot there too,
you did.
and
yes.
I don't that much anymore. Interesting,
The keto diet. Check it out.
as you can see. But also that townhouse. I remember you telling me you also discovered a safe. Was it?
There was.
Which freaked me out. Which I was,
So,
could this do with maybe Thomas or maybe your entity?
we discovered a bit more stuff there other than the safe. So as you went up the stairs, and as everyone knows, townhouses are very narrow. So as the stairs went up, like boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
like remember that little sliding door that was sort of underneath the stairs?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, which was weird. And if you crawled into this thing, it was only about this sort of big.
Yeah.
But if you looked off to your right, there was a safe there. that was locked, and we tried to get into it. We never could. But one time we were trying to get into it, and I pushed on the wall beside the safe. Well, not a wall. It was pretty much a bit of plywood, but we just assumed that was just a sealed off bit of the stairs.
Yeah.
Pushed it in. Behind it, there was a water pistol and all these weird kids' toys. Hey, no word of a lie.
Why was it there?
No word of a lie. Remember
Did you
old
destroy
Kat?
the items?
No, I left them there. Hey, do you remember
Just
old
left
Kaz?
them right there. Yeah.
So she got up in that crawl space,
Oh.
and I didn't realize you could
Stand
stand
up.
up in there. Stood up in there, and remember there was 2 top shelves,
I do,
and there
yeah.
was all these weird ass records, weird ass sort of like Mozart like play scripts, but man, there was this like weird like teared out bit about death and stuff like that. And man, when I moved out of there, I was like, I'm leaving it all there. Hey,
Yeah,
all
don't
there.
take it. But you took the kettle.
Yeah, well, that was my kettle. I paid $9 at Kmart for that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's at the time, expensive.
Probably about 6 months ago, I accidentally made an eBay purchase, but had it defaulted it back to my old place.
Yeah.
I went there to pick it up. There was 2 gentlemen that answered the door, and they were very surprised that I could actually open the gate. Remember how hard that was
I
to
remember
do?
that. That was fucking
And I told them that I used to live there. And they were like, oh, cool. And I was like, have you met Thomas yet? And they were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, have you been under the stairs? And they're like, where the safe is. And I was like, push that little bit of plywood and you'll see some kids' toys behind it. And they were like, what the fuck?
You're fucking creepy.
Yeah, man, I don't know if they were more creeped out by me or like what I was telling them, hey. But then I got my eBay purchase and, went
Disappeared,
home.
man.
Yeah.
To them, that maybe you were an entity that just came and warned them.
Maybe.
And
'cause, man,
disappeared. Imagine how freaky that
Man,
is.
the smell coming out of the house at that point in time.
Wasn't you, right?
Hey?
It wasn't you, the smell.
No. The smell coming out of the house for these 2 young gentlemen would make me believe that they were engaging in the smoking of cannabis at that point in time. So imagine being ripped as fuck and then you get a knock on the door and some dude is like, I used to live here. There's a hidden compartment under the stairs. And you're stoned as fuck. Imagine that.
Man.
And then they find it.
Yeah.
They'd be like...
I'm never smoking this shit again.
Yeah, like, man, that would
call their
freak
parents,
you
like,
out,
please
hey?
help me.
Yeah.
Please, Dad.
Mum,
I've done again.
I'm coming home, Mum.
Yeah.
Man, I might have scared him straight.
No,
though.
that's fucking over you.
Yeah.
Scared him straight. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I've been scared straight. That place was terrifying now that I think about it. And I don't know if anything happened to me there, but every time I was there, I was pretty...
It made
Pretty drunk.
It made everyone like on edge too.
I bet the safe was pretty freaky.
I was seeing a girl at that point in time, and she refused to sleep
you.
there overnight.
Really?
She refused to sleep there. Hey, she
Wasn't
was like, it's just too weird. Like I can hear shit at night time. Like refused to.
wasn't anything to do with your mattress? I remember once, we're mates, right?
Yeah.
And occasionally you might have too much to drink and you're scared to sleep in Thomas's room.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, man, I can't sleep. And then you're like, yeah, come in, I've got this really good mattress.
Man,
That was fucking terrible.
Bro,
I'm not even going to lie.
I got that mattress. Man, that's when I first moved.
Swamp?
That's when I first moved back here from Queensland, and I didn't have $10 to my name, ma'am. I bought a mattress of Gumtree, ma'am.
Oh my God.
For $50, man. Secondhand mattress. Old mate was like, "Oh, this was just in my spare room. Like no one's ever slept on it." I was like, "Yeah, cool, man." Because it had he swindled me, man. Because I got him down to 25.
100% he swindled you.
But man, when I bought it back home, for some reason, it still had the sheet over the top. You know, that the fitted sheet. When I bought it back home and pulled that off, man, it was putrid. It looked like someone had died in it.
It's possible someone did die in it.
Yeah.
It was fucking horrendous, man.
Man, just the whole circumstances of that point in my life were, man, they were pretty grim.
You sure it wasn't an ex-brothel mattress?
It could have been. No, that would have been
is
heaps cleaner. Man, they get the pressure washer onto those bad boys, man. Yeah.
Steaming out everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting place. And I'm glad that entity followed you, because...
As I said, man, I'll set up the GoPro. It will maybe take 6 hours, and you'll get to see the kettle switch on.
After that, man, can I please destroy that kettle?
But it'll just happen. I don't think it's the kettle that's the issue. I've had 3 of them. It's the entity that decides to dwell with
How does it fall? I thought it can't escape. I'm not too well versed in entities. But
yeah, look,
I thought it can't escape its area.
They say ghosts or energy, spirits, poltergeists, whatever you want to call them, attach themselves to people and then can follow them around and can manifest within a certain object or shit like that. Yeah.
Have you done anything about this? Have you seen like a priest or...
No.
Why not?
Not since the incident.
Oh! Sorry to bring that up, man.
Court case pending. Court case pending.
Yeah. I'm back from a short intermission. As usual, before we're touching on the base of entities. And I'm going to segue completely out of that. Even though I was interested. As I always do, because my mind...
It is sporadic.
It is chaos sporadic, and several doctors told me I need medication.
Anyway. Yeah, don't worry about that.
So, lucky I don't have a tube.
Good heavens.
Anyway, I've lowered to the people. Anyway, so I discovered a forbidden zone. Well, I haven't discovered it. Someone else did. In the Grand Canyon. It's believed they were ancient Egyptians.
In the Grand Canyon?
Yes. And there's a forbidden zone that is still there today.
Yeah, righto.
Which has been, they said, oh no, there's no forbidden zone. You can't hike there. It was discovered by a gentleman. I think his name's Rickard. Anyway, about him. He discovered this area in the 1900s. And it was a newspaper that took out an article about it and saying he found remarkable finds there of like urns, copper tools, and even hieroglyphs.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so it goes on, and then, you know, he never was able to get the treasure out or anything like that. So they're like, oh, you're a liar, whatever.
Yeah.
And then fast forward 100 years later, this article...
Oh! Looks like we got a call.
Pick it up. That's so loud, man.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Line Travellers.
What has a small cock and hangs down? You. What has a large cock and hangs up? Hooroo.
What the fuck?
Well, that was an interesting call. What has a small cock and hangs down? You. What was the last bit?
What has a something up? Tall cock up?
Yeah.
Or hangs up?
Hooroo.
Sound like a fucking ogre, man.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, we're going to call it, like we said.
Yeah.
Thanks for your interest in our podcast.
Yep.
And being on topic.
Yep, Wayne from Window.
Thanks, Wayne. Fuck. So, man, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
It's so loud. Thank you.
Yeah.
See?
Man.
People do call.
Yes, they do. Thank God. Thank God. We've broken the ice.
Yeah, that was... I've lost my train of thought. All I can think of are penises. Would you believe it?
What? As per?
Fuck off.
Navy boy.
Hey, there's nothing wrong, as I've said multiple times, about the male figure.
I know you have. I know what you've said.
Not in your sense. I like... Okay. Ancient Rome.
Yeah.
What do we say? Sculptures of... I can't say the word beautiful.
Jesus.
No.
Are you coming out? Man, good for you. Good for you. Anyway, back to the topic at hand.
Yes.
No-go zones in the Grand Canyon. They found...
Forbidden zones.
Yes.
Hieroglyphs.
Yep.
Treasure.
Yep.
Penis, copper tools.
Penises.
Replicas.
You just got on the mind now. Good on you, bro. Good on you. Everyone's got to have a hobby.
I hate you so much, man. I try and have a nice conversation about ancient Egypt, forbidden zones, Grand Canyons, and all this other stuff. And you have it like I let you talk. I let you talk.
I can't control who calls.
And this man has thrown me off, and now I look like an idiot. Anyway, I let you talk. I didn't get interrupted with someone talking about cocks, and now you're saying I'm a potential sodomite. Am I? And it doesn't matter if I am or not, because... Anyway, back to
the topic at hand.
Anyway, the Smithsonian, whatever the hell it's called, you got to correct me on that. Smithsonian,
yeah.
They took out an article. No, sorry, the scientists went there with King Card in the 1900s and discovered this.
Yep.
Now they're saying that man never existed and he never existed, and they wrote articles about this as well in the Smithsonian, and they're coming out and never happened. All right.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden there's no fly zones. There's covert government operations happening there where people are not allowed to go into these caverns.
Really?
Yes. And it is believed that these caverns go fucking far in, right?
Yeah.
So how did the ancient Egyptians get there, or all other ancients in these times? How did they get themselves there, and why did they leave these harems and objects? And is it possible subterranean reptilian overlords under there as well?
Well, man, now that you mention it, did you know there's hieroglyphs on the central coast of New South Wales?
Oh, really?
Yes, there is. We'll get a picture up here. They were discovered in, I think, the mid-2000s out in the fucking boondocks, out in the bush.
So they've travelled here.
They were carbon dated to be like old. But they're just saying that the indigenous population at that point in time just happened to do the exact same hieroglyphs as ancient Egyptians.
Of course. Well,
Yes.
that could lead to potential, I guess, like the ancient civilizations that we've talked about that was resetted in 12,500 years ago, that left their mark the whole world because they could traverse it in some way, or they were visited by someone outside the system. But if they were visited by someone outside our system, shouldn't there be like, were they always here, or did they come from somewhere else? Because if they came from somewhere else, there should be in our skies. We should be able to see where they came from.
Yeah, but this is where like fucking idiots carry on. They go, there's absolutely no proof of that aliens have ever visited here. Fucking bullshit. There is pyramids in Sudan, Egypt,
China.
South America, China. Why pyramids? Antarctica. Why pyramids everywhere? Like what? These ancient people were like, you know what? Let's just build some triangles out here. Why?
Yeah. And we still don't know how they're built.
No. They do think our boy
Telekinesis?
our boy Graham Hancock.
Vibrations?
Our boy Graham Hancock said they could manipulate the polarity of sound to sort of like move shit.
That Randall Carlson, I think he has someone, I don't know, someone he knows that they're actually trying to do this technology, and maybe soon in the future he's going to talk about it.
He said it's definitely plausible. Hey,
yeah. So they're working on these vibrations or something that could, as
to move
Peacock
shit.
said,
To move shit.
Which, like, if that's a pretty plausible theory than what they actually say in high school or whatever we read about.
Yeah, where they build like a 15-kilometer dirt ramp to traverse the pyramid, and then it goes around that, and you're carrying like perfectly cut metric ton cubes to go all the way out. And sandstone is brittle too, so you'd think 1-4 would probably crack it. Yes.
Yeah, and it took him, I think it was like not much to build or something. Oh no, it did take him long. No, it didn't take him as long.
It took quite some time, but it definitely not as long. But they couldn't do it today. Still, Khufu, the Great Pyramid of Egypt, the biggest one, is the heaviest structure on Earth, and it was built thousands of years ago. Thousands of years ago. Did you know that time moves slower around giant objects?
Yeah, I've actually, I've heard of it.
So people that live next to the Great Pyramid, Khufu, they will age slower than normies like you and I. But it's not.
Are you talking about like not much?
Yeah, like sort of like I think it's like 0.3 of a second, but still, it's enough to be
That's
like
big.
That's pretty. And you think over the course of maybe 80, 90 year life, you might get
Job living too.
Yeah, you might get, I don't know, 5 minutes.
That's all
5
right.
minutes more, man.
5 minutes to say fuck you to someone.
And just enough to crank one last one out. You know what I mean? Like that dude in Pompeii. We'll get a photo up here.
Yes.
I don't know if not too many people like have seen this, but when the Mount Vesuvius just fucking erupted and sent all the sulfur and the magma and all that shit. One dude was fossilized. He just saw it. He saw the cloud. And he's like, you know what? It's time to crank one out. And man, he's like.
And now he's immortalized in time.
Yes.
What a legend.
Yeah, man. He's got his salami in his hand, man.
And thousands of tourists see it every day.
Yes, man. What a legend. Yeah, we'll pop that up, man. That's a good
if
photo.
I want to go like that, I would probably,
You'd have to. You'd have to.
Why not?
Yeah.
What else would you do, man? Screaming terror?
Yeah, I don't know, crack a beer, crank one out,
Sure.
pet the cat, see you later. Well, not at the same time. Not at the same time.
Drink some non-fluoride water. They probably had it.
Yeah.
Which they had.
Yeah.
It's not even a joke.
Yeah.
Touching the pyramids. Obviously, I reckon we could delve deep in that in another podcast.
We will.
That and I want to delve deep on. I want to read more. I only briefly touched on the Hollow Earth. Maybe you could give us a brief outline.
Well, you didn't really touch on Hollow Earth, but we did speak about it off camera.
Oh, I wanted to touch on it. Sorry.
We'll probably do a full cast on this because it's actually pretty full on, especially with Operation High Jump. And when the Nazis sent many research vessels guarded by 2 frigates up to the North Pole, and they think that's where the opening is for the Hollow Earth.
Yeah. And I reckon that could be a good chunk of segment, but
yeah, absolutely,
we can discuss in the future.
Absolutely.
On that, I've got So yeah, with the pyramids, whatever, and that, and ancient races or civilizations that could have visited us. There's a scale. We talked about the Cartesian scale, which
So that's
is 4 different type of categories or something.
Yeah, so that's the Cartesian scale is your level of civilization.
Like energy, like it's to do with energy, but
yeah,
producing energy.
and
or
so,
harnessing energy.
So it goes off like harnessing the sun. What is it?
Dyson sphere or Dyson swarm would be harnessing the sun.
and it's not mega computers. It's called something else, hey?
Oh, quantum computing.
Quantum computers and
using
your
atoms.
ability to colonize other planets. So I believe it goes to what 1 to 4 or 1 to 7.
1 to 4, but I think it goes past that with I think the Omega, which is the ultimate, which could be the creators of the universe.
Yeah,
People who can or things that could create the universe.
and due to this scale, I believe planet Earth is 0.6 or 0.7. Man.
0.7. So there's sub categories, and we're 0.7.
Yeah.
We haven't even made level 1, which I think it's level 1's the ability I think to use our whole we use our resources in the home planet. We've used them so well that it's just like we have no need for this anymore. We have to go further.
So you pretty much turned your planet into a thriving metropolis, and then you need to expand and dominate other planets
for whatever reason.
Yes.
Find the meaning of life.
Man, do you reckon we'll ever get to even level 1? The way things are going?
With time apparently being infinite, maybe. Yes. Depending because to solve that problem, we have to all become the same culture.
Yes.
And have the same goal. If we don't,
well,
either someone that comes out of it or we all kill ourselves.
Yeah.
Is that the Fermi paradox?
Yes,
no one can reach that because we just...
Yeah, because everyone's doing their own fucking
or
thing.
no one's... I don't know if it's a great reset fielder or the Fermi paradox where we could be like our technology right now is like we're the furthest it's ever happened.
Yeah.
Potentially in our galaxy, obviously, because if someone had a Dyson sphere in our galaxy, we would notice it.
Yeah, you'd be like, why is there so...
and they would have made contact with us. So we're potentially in the whole universe of trillions of billions, whatever, could be the only ones that this technology advance.
Yep.
Or we get to this level, each race does and never goes further.
Well, yeah, because they ultimately wipe it themselves out.
Reasons.
And just for the people out there that don't know, a Dyson sphere is a theoretical device where they form an orb around a sun to harness its energy.
Yeah, usually they've decided to swarm. So to create that, they obviously need to go interplanetary. They need to conquer planets to get that material. They need to automate that process. And then when they can send a swarm of, say, mirrored kind of things to harness it, they would have to send, say, 20 up. Then they would have to replicate 20, 40, etc.
Yeah.
And then exponentially would grow around the sun. Harness that energy.
Yeah.
It's all theory, but that's their scale, how they need to fucking...
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. And was it that scale was in 1954? I believe.
Yeah, I think it's actually written by a science fiction writer. And then someone took it on.
Well, man, one of the biggest religions in the world was written by a science fiction writer. You know what I mean? You know, L. Ron Hubbard has the most published books of any author.
Should we join Scientology?
I think you've got to have money, which we do.
Yeah,
not.
we've got money.
Quite obviously, we do not have money.
Look at this, man. We're drinking tap water, Fluoride.
Man, that filter was $140, bro. That's a week's wage for me.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all great books, are probably fake. I won't name any at the moment because we'll probably get lynched. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll probably delve deeper on space later on, but
yeah, we probably really should do a whole pod on like one topic. You know what I mean?
I think we could because there's we can talk about some things. I reckon we can really get juicy into it, man. And then freak ourselves out as well.
So, man, if you want us to talk about like one topic instead of doing our sporadic bullshit, which we always do, give us a topic. We'll research it. We'll tell you if it's bullshit or it's dope as, and we'll heavily investigate it in the minimal time that we have.
100%. And as you said, we've got the number that's shooting up there. Voicemails are open. Leaves,
emails, the line travelers with 1L at gmail.com.
You love saying that 1L. It's true.
Because someone fucked up the original one and forgot the password, didn't they?
That's cool. You can't bully me, man, anymore. I told you. Not live.
This is a bullying,
maybe later on, man.
This is a bullying free zone. Bring back bullying, man. Harden the kids up.
I hope Thomas rapes you.
Man, who knows, man? And who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. So obviously we'll bring Operation High Jump, Hollow Earth. Dog Soldiers, which was based on a true event.
Dog Soldiers, it was not based on a true event.
Not what I read. So how?
Where did
Why am I wrong?
where did you get this information from?
Just some reading website. But how do you know it's not?
That's like saying Human Centipede was based on true events.
Okay, please. Human Centipede never happened.
Dog Soldiers
is more
did.
liable.
So we're a
Group of special forces got an operation. They discover their other group has been killed
by werewolves.
It's possible there's werewolves out there.
Man, look, I suppose after the last
Man,
2
they
years,
could be
anything's
freaking out. Anything could be happening, man. In the heat of battle, I don't know if you've been there. I haven't either. But anything could happen. Anything. And they were saved by a zoologist.
This is true.
Out of all people.
Yeah, well, it is
Fantastic documentary. Look it up, Dog Soldiers.
We'll put it up here. We'll put it up here with the IMDb rating.
It's low. No, I think it's pretty good, actually.
Oh, I think it is too.
I think it's a 6.
Is
For a
it?
movie.
Yeah, I think it's
For a
like
documentary.
it's close to a 7, man. Do you remember when we were in our discotheque days, man? You're going out and you're doing and we came back one night, man, and we just decided to put on Dog Soldiers, man.
God.
Yeah, and we were like, dear God, this is really killing my vibe, hey. This
Yeah.
is really killing
Yeah,
my
you're like,
vibe.
I'm going to just ring my parents and go home, mate. Even though I'm extremely off my head. It's heaps freaky, man.
And then you
It's
just
just
get
silence.
and then you just get home, man, then you just stare at the ceiling. Like,
Yeah, and your legs heaps feel weird. You're like, oh, I can't see.
yes. We do not condone drug use.
It's all fictional. Like everything. Are we even real? Who knows?
Who
We're
knows?
probably AI. And who would pick a body like this? I don't know. I would.
Yes, that timed
It worked,
perfectly.
it worked. Anyway, you want to close up or you got more to spew out?
I don't know if we'll close up. I think we should give it.
We'll leave the lines open?
Yeah, we'll give it another 40 minutes, man, because we've only had one call with some weird cunt talking about his dick.
Wait, we've got his number anyway, so I'm coming for you, man.
Yeah.
No, I won't.
But anyway, we're just going to take
I enjoy
a quick break to the latrines, and we'll see you all
Latrines, look
soon.
it up.
All right, welcome back to the Travellers. We had a pretty poor day on the phone calls. A lot of the phone calls we cannot air.
Yeah. We can't. Legal reasons, we spoke to our lawyer, and he said if you air that, good luck.
Yeah, I don't know. It was
will
some
not represent us.
pretty grim shit. So we've got one up there. We went on a few expansive topics today, and we are going to delve into a lot of the stuff that we talked about today in a full-length podcast, like the Egyptian ruins in the Grand Canyon, shit like that. But anyway, our phone is always on. Well, to receive a voicemail. So leave a voicemail. This number, every voicemail, within reason, unlike the strange creatures that called today. They were from the Central Coast, 110%.
Yeah, 100%. I hate that place. Sorry, if anyone's out there. Sorry.
Man, there's something in the water down there.
Yeah,
People are just like...
fluoride. Heaps of
Yeah,
fluoride.
heaps of fluoride, yeah. Probably, it's more fluoride than water down there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you got anything more to add, bro?
No, I had an interesting, discussion about various topics. I was enlightened to possible entities I was sleeping in the same room as, which was good to know now. And yeah, but I had a good, I think it's a good podcast. In the Ungy room, we delve deep on topics, and on our Discords, we just shooting shooting the stuff,
Yep.
talking about recent events, anything crazy happening. But
Yep, that's
yeah,
it.
thanks for watching. I'm Licks,
I'm Peacock.
and stay sweaty, and yeah,
Stay sweaty.
look to the skies.